am going to kind of move off of the Chicago Bears. I just want to talk about the NFL. I want to talk a little bit about the Bulls, a little Blackhawks, maybe a little Cubs. Let's just start with the NFL right now. We talk a lot about the Chicago Bears. We spend a lot of time in our own insular world of just thinking about what the Bears do and thinking that our offensive line, we're the only team in the NFL with an offensive line problem. We're the only team in the NFL with, a tough second half schedule. I promise you we're not alone. But I just wanted to kind of do a quick referendum and just give you my quick thoughts on what's going on in the NFC North. Because we have to control what we can control as Bears fans. We want Caleb Williams to be great. We want to win football games. We want our defense to be elite, all that good stuff. But, man, I got to tell you, this NFC North division this year is tough. And there is a possibility that the Chicago Bears play well this year and could still be on the outside looking in just because of the timing of where the other teams in the NFC North are and what's been going on with them. Let's start first with the surprise of the division. The 4-0 Minnesota Vikings. Honestly, can anyone believe that we're saying that out loud right now? I mean, man, it's been impressive. And it has to start first and foremost with Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold. When I'm up here on the mic criticizing Matt Eberflus and wondering if he is the right coach for the future, look no further than what's going on in Minnesota right now after they decided to walk away from Kirk Cousins. They bring in a quarterback like Sam Darnold. Now, obviously, Kevin O'Connell has a connection to that Shanahan-McVay tree. So when, Sam Darnold signs with the 49ers, in a way that kind of gives the thumbs up to the rest of that ilk, that quarterback whisperer community, that Sam Darnold is a guy that you can work with. I'm 100% on the train of probably many of you watching this show that when they signed Sam Darnold, I rolled my eyes. They drafted J.J. McCarthy, and I think we all thought, well, Sam Darnold will start the year, but for how long? Only a matter of time before we see J.J. McCarthy. It has been the complete opposite. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy out for the year after an MCL surgery. But Sam Darnold threw 4 games, 11 touchdowns, 932 yards, a 118.9 QB rating. And, man, this isn't just game manager stuff. They are really trusting him out there. And I think a big litmus test for all of this is, you would like to think that this would be a really easy relationship. But the fact that Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson are getting along so well on the field early, it's still a bit of a surprise. I mean, when you're Sam Darnold trying to figure out your way and trying to fill in, it does help to get the ball to Justin Jefferson, who scored a touchdown in every single game so far this year. He's averaging 17.9 yards per catch. Last 2 games, he got 16 receptions for last 3 games, he has 16 receptions for 299 yards. This is working out pretty well. And Minnesota, they have a strong offensive line. It's better than the Chicago Bears. Brian Flores on that defense, blitzing like crazy. They're playing complimentary football right now. They jumped all over the Packers last week. I know the Packers came back a little bit in that game, but man, they jumped on them and they didn't look back. The Vikings are no joke. I mean, when I walked into the year with the Bears schedule, that game at Minnesota I put down as a loss just because Caleb on the road at Minnesota in that environment, that blitzing defense, is going to be a tough game. But now, even the game that they have them at home, that's a 50-50 game. These division games are going to be serious. And I think we're going to learn about just how far along this Matt Eberflus program is by the second half of the year when we start playing those division games. Next one on the list, Detroit Lions, 3-1. Coming off a week where Jared Goff went 18 of 18 for 292 yards. Their offense is loaded. It's really impressive. They have Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the best, I don't even want to say possession receiver because he can do it all, but he's a guy that racks up targets, racks up catches, can do it all, threat anywhere on the field. Probably the guy that you look at first and say, how do we stop this guy? On the other side, Jameson Williams, big play receiver, healthy for right now, making plays from them, good compliment to what they have with St. Brown. Sam Laporta, again, another guy who's hurt but when healthy, is very interesting. The backfield right now, Jamar Gibbs, home run hitter, great around the edge, and of course, David Montgomery. Revisionist history. I don't like to do it, but man, David Montgomery kind of is the perfect running back for a player like Caleb Williams right now. I guess we'll never know the full story. Word on the street is that the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions basically offered him the same amount of money, and David Montgomery chose to move on and move elsewhere. I mean, that's every player's right. But it does make you think if maybe Chicago Bears had offered a couple pennies more, maybe he would have stayed. Man, he is a bruising running back, and he is a type of guy that when the ball is in his hands, opposing linebackers are like, I got to tackle this dude. That's not very fun. The Lions, they're 3-1. They're second in the division right now. But, man, that team, I hate to say it, but that team is definitely capable of playing in a Super Bowl. That team is definitely capable of going deep into the playoffs. And, oh, yeah, by the way, right now, their best defensive player, their high draft pick from a couple years ago, Aiden Hutchinson, 6.5 sacks through 4 games, 4.5 in 1 game. He's got at least 1 sack in 3 of the 4 games played. The division is tough. And now we move on to the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love is back. Good for him. I think no one wishes injury upon anyone, but when that injury happened, I think a lot of people thought and figured that, man, he was going to be out for a while. Like, see you by Thanksgiving. But no, he's back and he's playing. They have a lot of good complementary pieces. Josh Jacobs has been fine so far. Christian Watson is hurt again. But this is really kind of all the teams in the division, this is a Matt LaFleur operation. When Jordan Love goes down, we all saw it. Malik Willis comes in. They run the ball 45 times a game. They still pick up victories. Formidable team. We all know it. I hate to say it. But when you look at it, the NFC North is definitely the toughest division in the NFC right now. You can make the argument that the NFC North is the toughest division in football. Toughest division in football, I probably still have to lean AFC North, to be honest with you. The way the Ravens are playing right now, the way the Steelers are playing right now. Not so sure on the Bengals, but if the Bengals get it going, those are 3 really, really, really good teams, and it's okay if the Browns are terrible, because those are 3 upper echelon teams that possibly can win playoff games. The NFC North, this is the same story. Lions and Packers, they're playoff-ready teams. The Chicago Bears, they're aspiring. The Vikings, they are surprising right now. All of these NFC North games are going to be wild. Handicapping them and picking winners is going to be difficult. And I think, as we talked about in the first segment, when we talk about the Chicago Bears, what they have in front of them the next 5 games, it would behoove them to go 3-2, 4-1, provide yourself a little bit of a pad, because we are going to learn a ton about the Matt Eberflus program in the second half of this season, going up against the Vikings, Packers, and the Lions. There are no cupcakes. And it's tough. Chicago Bears got a lot in front of them. They could easily be, as they are right now, they're technically tied in last place at 2-2 with the Green Bay Packers. They could still have a promising season. We could walk out of this year feeling really great about Caleb Williams. But if we only win 8 games, maybe even 9 games, we could end up in last place in the NFC North. That's how talented this division is. So just something to keep an eye on, and take care of your own business right now. Get better on a week-to-week basis so that when you do play these teams, you're ready to roll. But the NFC North is really, really good.